guys. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Quick shout out to the Signals team for inviting me to come and to be part of this incredible summit. So far, we've had amazing speakers, and I've learned so much already. I'm so excited to talk about AI and revenue and how those two come together. But as you can see, my topic today is AI initiatives are harming your team and how to fix that and drive true results. Now, maybe not quite the conventional topic that you would expect to see at a summit like this, where, as my teenagers say, we should all be glazing on this topic and talking about all of the amazing benefits that come with AI and all of the incredible efficiencies that come from it and all of those things. But I want to just call out in the beginning a little bit around maybe some dissonance or disconnect that we have as leaders and as our teams, and how AI can get in the way but also can help if we do some things right. And so let's get right into it. As all of us know, November 30th of 2022, AI came onto the scene in a big way. Obviously, companies have been using AI for a long time, but ChatGPT really came into its own. And I'll never forget sitting at a friend's birthday dinner, and we were all chatting, and one of my friends pulled up his phone and said, "Have you seen this?" And it's funny because I had played around with it a little bit, but the fact that he was there, not in tech, and had ChatGPT on his phone was the day that I knew that this was not just something that was going to be coming and going, that this was here to stay, and that it would eventually become something that affected our overall lives, and especially running a business. Every day we're asked about AI initiatives. Every day we're talking to our teams about AI initiatives. So it's truly become a household name. The question is, are our teams prepared? So this summer, my boys went on their first high adventure camp, and they went backpacking in the Uintas. And we were preparing all of the different pieces that needed to go into their pack. And my brand new 12-year-old was just starting to hook everything on the outside of his pack and starting to gather all of these things up in his arms. And I said, well, this makes sense for you to get from here to your pickup spot. It's not going to be what prepares you for a long journey ahead. And I feel like sometimes that is what we have done with our teams when we talk about AI. So let me give you some statistics that I read just this week. As you know, so many new things are coming out about AI, and as we're studying it and looking at the results. So what I want to talk about is how AI is affecting our overall teams. And here's our first one. So I believe that there's a little bit of a misalignment in the expectations that are coming down from leaders, and then what the results are. So the first one is 96% of C-suite have high expectations that AI will significantly impact productivity and performance for their teams. So as leaders, we have this grand idea that there's going to be so much more performance and productivity coming from our teams just by them using AI. 77% of employees using AI, though, say that these tools have actually added to their workload. So they're not feeling like the tools that they have in their disposal is actually making a difference for them and in their ability to be more productive in their jobs. Here's another one. 81% of C-suite leaders admit to increasing demands on their workers this past year. But 65% of employees are struggling to meet the demands that are put on their productivity. And so as we, as leaders, believe in AI, we're adding additional responsibilities to our teams, sometimes in the name of AI coming in and helping. Our teams are not feeling like they can actually use those tools to help them with their productivity, and they don't really know how to meet the demands that are put on them to produce at this higher level. And what that is leading to is burnout or dissatisfaction with the job. 1 in 3 employees say that they'll likely quit their job in the next 6 months due to burnout or being overworked. There's so many demands that are being put on our teams to produce and to deliver and to be more productive and to do it with fewer resources. And I worry that when we talk about AI in the workplace, what we're actually talking about, it's almost the equivalent to Michael Scott walking into the office one day and declaring bankruptcy. I hope you've seen that episode. It's one of my favorites. He decides that he's done with his money issues and he opens the door and he says to his office and out into the main area of the office and he says, "I declare bankruptcy." And it's a hilarious moment. Everyone's like, I don't think that's exactly how it works. But I wonder if we're doing something similar to that in declaring to our teams, we need you to use AI. But we're not actually walking through these pieces with them, showing them the way to get on the other side. So this comes out of that same research study. It says, our research shows that introducing new technology in an outdated work model and systems is failing to unlock the full expected productivity of AI. So as you saw those statistics, there was definitely a dissonance between the two. There was distance that was created there. Almost like we have two sides of a bridge. You have leaders and executives expecting something from AI, and our teams on the other side feeling like they don't know how to use the tools. They don't believe the tools are helping them in the way that we're expecting them to. And so we want to really take a chance to look at how to bridge the two sides. What are some ways that we can get together and meet our teams where they are and use some, what's the right word? Like some logical ways of introducing AI and having people really dive in and start to use it. I think right now, before we hop into that content, just wanted to give you a little bit more about Applicant Pro, just so that you understand the examples that I'll use a little bit later. So at Applicant Pro, we help companies attract and hire quality candidates in the smoothest and easiest way possible through both software and service models. And as you can see here, we've been on the Inc. 5000 list for I think it's our 12th year in a row. So 2013 all the way down to this year in 2024, we got some advance notice that we will be making the list this year, which I'm super excited about. And so the only reason I point this out is because I'm in the trenches with you guys. I am helping to build teams. We are bootstrapped. We are moving through and growing our teams and with limited resources and really trying to see how we can dig deep. And so we utilize all the tools that we can, including AI. We are known for being a great place to work, and we have been recognized by Indeed for our innovative practices. We're one of their platinum partners 2 years in a row now, and we work a lot with the job boards in order to be able to get the results that our companies are looking for when they're trying to attract and hire talent. So I want to talk about a few projects that we've used and used AI and to help us to be able to get the results that we're looking for. And as I'm talking through these, I'm hoping you're thinking about this bridge, right? If our employees are over here and we're over here with these big expectations and they don't know how to get there, there's some ways that our teams from the sales and marketing side can do some work to be able to help bridge the gap by utilizing resources that we have. So this first project that that I want to spotlight here is how we used AI for a new product launch. So we were getting ready as a team to be able to launch a new product line that we were calling direct placement. It's essentially a competitor to headhunters, modeled out in a different way with a big group of recruiters to help us on the back end. So it's a really cool product, and it adds a lot to our clients' ability to not only use software, but then have this service module that sits on the side and helps. So we were getting ready to launch this out, and we had our ICP all ready, we had our pricing ready, we had all of our messaging all ready, but we wanted to see if we could get an early splash and before we started to launch this out. And so what our teams did is we went to our AI generated recordings that come from Gong. And if you guys, hopefully everyone on this call knows, but Gong is a software that basically records the calls that are happening by your front end employees, our sales folks and our client success folks. We're recording the calls, and then it allows for you to generate information and knowledge that can be useful for you. So in this case, we went to our Gong data and we searched for headhunters. And what we found was in 1 week's time, we had 18 clients and prospects say the word headhunter. And so what we wanted to do with that data was then take that back to our team. So we paired it up with all the marketing materials that we had made, and then we added the information of these potential clients and put them together and asked the teams to go out and have some initial conversations to see if they could get some traction around this project as well. And the teams were really excited because they had a laser focused way of looking at this new product launch. What we did then was we had actually a call with Gong to help us to be able to, in real time, start to extract this data and then start to unlock more keywords that were related to that as well. And so as this machine learning helps us, we're able to really unlock and to look forward into how to make more application overall. So we took this initial idea of a product launch, and as we were getting ready to launch everything out, we started this little experiment, and it was incredibly successful for this initial launch. So that's our first project. I want you to listen to see if you can see what the formula is as well as we go into the second one. All right, so the second one is we created AI for an upsell revenue project that we were working on. And so for this project, we started to, it was actually a churn activity, and we were looking at those clients that had left us for other systems. And we wanted to deeper understand why they were leaving us. So as we started digging into all of the different data points and all of the different information that was available from these clients, we started to see a theme. And one of the themes was if they didn't have enough applicants for their job openings, then they were more likely to leave. Now, it seems pretty intuitive, because if you don't have applicants, then you can't track them. And if you can't track them, they can't hire them. And if you can't hire them, you can't run a background check, or, all of those different pieces. And so what we wanted to do is really early on surface those jobs that didn't have enough applicants for them. So we called them underperforming jobs, and we went to work, and we had some AI machine learning in the background to really help us to start to identify what these at-risk jobs were. And as we started surfacing this data, and we just pulled a list initially, and we served it up to our client success department that works on revenue driving activities post-close. And so these guys were really excited because they wanted to be able to offer assistance to our clients, and also had an opportunity for upsell, right? There were a lot of different pieces that we can do with an underperforming job. We can do optimization overall with the job boards. We can rewrite their job ad. We can, maybe they're being blocked or banned, and so we can look for those types of things. We can help them to sponsor their jobs within the system. So there's all these different pieces that could come together for us to be able to help our clients in this way. And so, within the first pull of that data, we were able to fill 3 client success managers' calendars. And it's continued heavily, but what we wanted to do after that was to surface this data with our clients. So as they're actively in the system, looking overall at the different jobs that they have available, they would see like a little caution cone on the side. And as they clicked on that, it would give them a form and the ability to raise their hand and say, oh, I need help with this. I'm seeing that this is not where it should be. And now we have a very proactive activity that's happening and serving up information both to clients and also to our client success team so that we're able to consistently service our clients. So what we're doing here is we were utilizing the information that we have and applying the AI to it and surfacing this data. We went to our teams that were on one side of the bridge, and instead of saying, hey, you use AI, what we did was we came to them with a very logical approach to utilizing it. And then after that, then we automated it so that it could consistently feed into these client success reps so that they could continually have these upsell opportunities. And it's working really well for us. The last one I wanted to talk about is how we turned a productivity activity within our company into a revenue driving piece. And so one of the services that we provide to our clients is that we will rewrite their job ads for them, because as you guys know, as marketers and sales folks, if you have the wrong content, it doesn't matter how much muscle you put behind it, it's not actually going to produce, right? You might get some eyeballs on it, but it may not convert. And it's the same way with the job ad. So this is a pivotal piece of our hiring process. And so we started many years ago, we had hired a team to really sit in and start to write job ads for people that were struggling. And so they would take in the job ad, they would review it, all the information that they have, they would go out into the market and on Google and everything and go look for, more information around this job. They would bring it back in and they would produce a job ad. It was generally, a 5 to 7 day turnaround time. What we were trying to do, we started to get behind in our queue. And so this is right around the time the AI was introduced. And so we took AI, we wrote a few prompts, connected the system into ChatGPT in order for our teams to be able to be more productive around writing these job ads. And they had a lot of feedback for us. We tested ads. When they weren't producing, we went back to the model and we really started to refine how easily these jobs could be written. And we went from, one job to being able to produce 3 jobs in the same amount of time. And then it went to 10 jobs in the same amount of time that it would have taken us to write 1 job ad. And so we started seeing, massive gains in this area. And obviously our teams had to go back in and to review and refine and make sure that they were working well. But the majority of the work was done by the machine learning. And so after a time, after we'd worked out all these bugs and we really were feeling like we could, plug and play and get all the information out in a really streamlined manner, what we found was, or what we asked ourselves was, could we possibly lay this out and give this to our clients as a feature set? And we decided the answer was yes. And so we ended up adding this to our premium package and giving, having a price increase on that. Then we also turned around and allowed for people to buy it on a one-time. And so that one-time revenue, again, supports us overall to be able to grow the business. So these 3 examples really lead us into this formula for logical application of AI for our teams. So I wanted to walk you through the 4 parts that we used in these examples and that we use often at Applicant Pro in order to be able to surface opportunities overall. So the first thing is to start with what you have. You saw in all these examples, we had something to work with. We had data set, we had information, we had some ideas around what we should do. And then what we did next was we set up an experiment or a hypothesis. And after we had set up that hypothesis and really decided, what is it that we're trying to accomplish, we decided to test out the hypothesis. And in all of these examples, you saw us take a small group and try with something small, right? We wanted to try with our teams before we made this big production of the job ad writing. We started with, 1 week of data on our Gong data, and then we gave it to the team to see if they could test it out before we went and did the automation. So test out the hypothesis there. And then the last one is to really expand out its reach. look and think, how can this actually apply overall? Is there something that we can do in order to automate this? Is this something that we can do that will make it easier? Is there a different area of the company that we can expand this out into? And as we start working through these logical applications, we'll see that bridge, that gap bridge overall, and we can easily walk our teams through rather than making some declaration or pushing them to get to the results that they need without really understanding, here's our world and here's the systems that we're running and here's the results that we want. Let's make these bridge the gap overall. So just my last slide. I'm hoping that you guys can connect with me on LinkedIn. We also will do a job ad review for you. You know, we talked about the job ad writing tool. If you are hiring and you need help, we're happy to sit down with you, take a look at it, either introduce you to our AI within the system to be able to write your job ad, or we can help you as well. So thank you so much for being here with me today, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the summit and enjoy the rest of your week.